What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Always Jonesing. My name's Quentin Jones, and we are up at the farm today. We are starting to think about deer season a little bit. It's the end of July, beginning of August here. I think the 1st of August is Monday or Tuesday. It's Saturday, so it's like July 30th. And it's still fishing season. Fishing's going strong. Some really great fishing opportunities out in the bay, off in the ocean. But like I said, it's that time of year where we're starting to think about deer season a little bit. You gotta start mixing the two together here. So we are planting turnips, no-till method today, and I'm just going to show y'all a little bit of kind of how we do it. You know, these plots right here have already been established. The pH has been fixed over the years. So I'll give you a little look here. That's what we're dealing with. And most of this stuff's need a thigh high. Some of this stuff is taller than I am. But today's the day. Unfortunately, we had a lot of rain last night, so we're not going to be able to spray first thing this morning. But we are going to get the turnip seed down later this afternoon when the sun comes up, burns a lot of this moisture off. We'll come in here, we'll spray it all, kill it, roll it down over top of the seed, and we'll have a great fall food plot here for the deer. So that's kind of what we're doing this weekend. I got this big plot here that's going turnips. I got 2 more plots in another big field over here that are going turnips, and then our cereal rye, we'll deal with that at the end of September. We'll disc some stuff up. Some of the other plots we'll disc them up, throw the cereal rye in there, triticale, winter rye, winter wheat, and we'll get that stuff going. But yeah, so that's kind of what we're doing. First weekend doing any kind of deer stuff. So we're going to get these plots in, get them seeded, get them sprayed, get them rolled, and all these weeds you see in here, that turnip seed is so fine that it'll fall down to the ground in all this stuff, and then we'll spray it and roll it all in the same day, and this stuff will turn into hay. It'll die, it'll lay down on top of all that seed, hold the moisture in, and works really well as long as you have some good soil. So no-till method, you know, we're not breaking the soil. You know, we don't want to dry the soil out and mess up any of the microorganism structure in the soil or any of that. We just want to throw the seeds, spray it, roll it, and let it do its thing. So here we go. Got my sidekick back there, Austin. He's helping out. And the bottom, I don't know, the bottom portion of this field's probably 20 yards wide by about 40 yards long. And we've always tried to keep it in clover. And the clover's doing great this year. I mean, just look at it. Needs to be cut. I'm going to come in here and mow it, but it is absolutely doing fantastic in here this year, which is great. Just adds a little diversity to your plot. The whole top half of this is going to be turnips, and I was going to plant all this in turnips too, but there's so much clover in here popping. I seeded it last year hoping it would come back and do this, and it did. So we're going to leave the bottom section of this field alone. We're just going to leave it in clover, white ladino, and the whole top of this is going to be turnips. So let's get at it. All right, you guys. A lot of people are like, well, why don't you pull it behind a pull-behind spreader? It'd be so much easier than walking up and down the side of this hill, all in this stuff. Well, you see how fine all that clover or that turnip seed is? I found the best way is one of these little green spreaders. It's so much easier to regulate. I know some guys mix sand with it, all that, blah, 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 blah. But you get one of these little tiny green hand spreaders, and you can regulate it, the flow of seed, so much easier with one of these things. I do my clover and my turnip seeds with this spreader right here. Works great for these little tiny fine seeds. Here we go.
It to me all.
All right, there we go. Food plot number 2 seeded. Right there. It's probably half acre, maybe a little less than a half an acre. But that plot is absolutely loaded with clover as well. So, you know, that clover is pinning back the weed growth, which I really want for these turnips. Because the more weeds that grow in them, the more hay or straw I create to lay down on top of the turnip seed. On top of that clover, once I spray that glyphosate, it won't kill that clover. It'll knock it back a little bit, but it won't kill it. So my turnips are going to be competing with the clover, and the clover is going to prohibit quite a bit of that turnip seed from growing. So this is going to be a little experiment. We'll see how this one goes. I have a feeling I'm gonna have a clover plot with some turnips growing in it, which I'm okay with. I love clover. Clover's probably the best all-around food plot you can plant here in Virginia. Up here in the mountains, a little different. It gets a lot colder up here and stuns that clover a little quicker. But hey, it's an experiment. We'll see what happens with this one. On to the next. Bugs? Raining bugs?
No, like raining water.
I don't see it. Or feel it.
I felt it.
I'm feeling bugs. Got one on your face.
I know.
Turkey. See the turkey?
Uh-huh.
I don't know if y'all can see that turkey or not. She's heading up in the woods. Well, we have arrived to food plot number 3, and there's a turkey back here. Hen. I didn't see any poults or little ones with her, but it's getting hot now. The sun's gonna start coming out. But here we are, food plot number 3. It's a little guy. It's only about, I don't know, 40 yards long by 20 yards wide. And I can see that one's absolutely slam full of clover as well. You know, I threw a bunch of clover down a couple years ago, and a bunch of ladino, and it's really starting to come out now. So this one's going to be kind of the same as the last one. I'm going to seed turnips in it, and I'm going to spray it, and we're going to roll it. But this one is probably going to end up being a clover plot with a few turnips in it. Okay. On second thought, after getting off the four-wheeler and walking around in here, we're just going to leave this as another clover plot. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful in here. It needs to be bush hogged, but there is so much clover in here that I'm just going to leave it. Look at it. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. I mean, slam full of beautiful lush clover. Whole thing. All of it. So, we're not going to experiment with this one. If I wanted turnips in here, I'd have to come in here and till all this clover under. And it'd be great for the soil, add a lot of nitrogen. Turnips would kick ass in here. But I found out here in Virginia that if you have a good stand of a white clover, could be Dutch, could be Durana, could be Ladino, any of the white clovers. The white clover has more protein than a deer can consume. So all this clover that they're eating is just getting pumped straight into their body, straight to the antlers, straight into their body. And they'll continually eat on this all summer long, the rest of the summer into October. When we start getting freezing temps at night, it'll stun this. So obviously there won't be anything in here after that to carry these deer through the winter. So I'm going to take the rest of those turnip seeds and I'm going to take them back to the very first plot that we seeded. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger and throw the rest of these seeds in there. So hopefully these deer come January, February, we'll have a big 1.5 acre field over here full of turnips to help get them back after the rut. You know, these bucks get run down so hard during a rut that as soon as the rut's over, season's over, they're hurting. They're in bad shape. They need a good high quality food source to get them back up and performing on antler growth in the spring. So I'm not going to have 3 plots full of turnips. I'm going to have well, the second plot had a lot of clover in it, but it was patchy. So I'm going to have some turnips in that one along with some clover. This one is absolutely slam full of clover. We're going to leave this one. This is going to be a great early season bow spot. I got a tree picked out right there. We're going to put a lock on right there. Back here out of the back's a big thicket, big bedding area. And these deer, they'll filter up through that and come out here. Normally they come out on the high side of that ridge right there. And they'll come in here and feed. And from here to that tree is about a 30-yard shot. So that's my only option here in this spot. Normally we're muzzleload hunting this spot, but it's going to be a great early season spot. So with that being said, we are headed back to the very first plot, and we are going to get the rest of these turnips put in there, and that'll be it on food plots. And then we'll start doing some deer stand stuff, and we'll carry you along with us. All right. All right, we're back at the first spot. I just took you on a little time-lapse ride down one of the big bottoms here on the property instead of coming back through the field and the way we went. We did a loop down through the big bottom down there. Took you on a little time-lapse ride of that. But, all right, we're going to get the rest of these turnips down. Back out here in food plot number 1. And then we'll start doing some tree stand stuff. So, and then later, I'll take you guys to the river. And we're going to check the river. If it's not up and running and flowing, we're going to wade fish it. Catch a bunch of little smallmouth. It's fun. Great time after doing this kind of work. So, all right, well, we're going to get these turnips in, and then we'll take you around and show you some of our tree stand setups. Do a little work on them. One of these days he's going to listen to me. And he's going to put boots and long pants on while doing this. He's still in fishing mode. Short shorts, Crocs. I don't know if he thinks he's going to get an extra tan out here or not. But one day he'll learn. Especially when he gets a bunch of chiggers on his ball sack. He's a good boy though. How was that?
Pretty easy.
How are your legs?
Good. They're
Yeah.
just a little bit of briars, not too bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Let me stop by the creek so I'll wash my feet off.
Okay. All right. Well, that's all the seed. We've got all the turnips in. So now we're going to ride around, check some stands. We'll check on a couple of the other food plots I haven't laid my eyes on yet. And the last two food plots will be cereal grains, rye. We'll probably end up coming in here at the same time we do those plots and top dress these turnip plots with some rye or some triticale, and that'll add a little extra in here for them. So, all right, that's it. That's it for the seed. All right, let's go ride and check some stands. All right, well, here we are. I don't know if y'all recognize this spot or not, but if you watched the very first video I ever posted on YouTube, it was a video of me killing a turkey, and we're back. Killed him right there. I was laying right up there. But also, this is a great deer spot, and we have a scaffold buck stand in here that has been neglected. And we are going to restore this stand site in here. It's a great muzzleloader spot. And there you can see it. There's the stand. It's in rough shape. My goal is just to get it to where we can sit in it and get some shots out of it. The camo netting's about done on it. It's got no roof, but it's a hell of a spot, and we're going to trim up some shooting lanes in here and kind of restore this spot a little bit. So kind of take a look around and see. It's grown up in here tremendously. That stand's been there for 30 years. But this is a great spot. That oak branch right there you see hanging real low, right in there, always has a bunch of big scrapes under it, which is a 30-yard shot with a bow or muzzleloader. Well, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get to cleaning up some shooting lanes on that stand right here. Well, we got the one stand site trimmed up. We got some good shooting lanes cut in it, so that one's ready to go. We're sitting here at another one here called the 44-acre field, and we got some netting up there that is crunchy. It's been up there so long. Austin actually rattled in a giant buck last year right here in the field to 10 yards, and he crinkled a little bit of that netting, and real still quiet morning, and he crinkled a little bit of that netting, and deer knew something was up, took off. So we're removing all that old crunchy netting on this 2-man ladder stand here, and the next time we come up we'll put some new stuff on it. So that's what we're doing, just running around doing some stand stuff. So getting hot though. We'll take a break after this, go get a drink. There you go. All right, we'll catch you in the next one. All right. So we've got the plot sprayed. Now we got to finish mashing it down. So I'm gonna scratch on my lens.
Right there.
Austin's getting stung by little whatchamacallums. I don't even know what they are.
See it? This thing sting me. Don't get too close, you might get mad.
Got him. Alright, so now we're just going to do laps. We're going to do circles around this thing, just mash this grass down if it's been sprayed. So when it dies, it lays down on top of the seed and acts like straw, holds in a bunch of moisture. And we should have a beautiful turnip plot come October. Alright. perfect world, I'd have a roller, but this ain't a perfect world.